Okay, sorry about the funky recording setup, maybe. Hopefully it works out good. Let's do a little breakdown of this hockey thing. Right off the bat, very sorry for Johnson's family. You know, he didn't deserve this. He was just playing the game. And this other man, there's a man playing on the field, you guys. He doesn't, these other guys are introduced with names. This guy's just a man now. This guy, Petgrave. Now he's a man. Um, So, what's most important to me about this is, did these two have an issue going on? Because this maneuver that Petgrave pulls is just right out of, it's just crazy. It's a crazy maneuver. And at the same time, I do want to say I'm bummed for Petgrave. He's been playing for a long time. He obviously knows the danger of the skates, he knows a lot of things. He's out there as an enforcer, so this is his job, is to do crazy stuff and make you worry about trying to go to the hole, trying to make a score. And he definitely did crazy stuff. So let's see. Here it comes. A little pause here. Bam. Right there. We've all seen it. Okay, so these are basically, I did some drawings. I've been an artist my whole life. I know a lot about physical motion and movement, done a lot of sports drawings, and I've also done a couple thousand miles on rollerblades. Not ice hockey, but we all know a lot more about it. And I'm saying here, if we assume no angry intent, then he was trying to clip the arm, then his leg traveled up the body and went over. So this is what I think he might have felt in his brain as he pulled this crazy maneuver, is just kick the body, kick the leg. Why he was trying to do that, Lord only knows. But I think that Johnson lowered, and that forced Petgrave's knee to go up over his shoulder. That should come up here in a second. Okay, so he thought he could slam the body, and of course this is not really the position that he was in. He had more of his knee closer. It's similar, but basically he bent his knee, and I believe what happened when it all went down is your leg has to go somewhere. Your leg and your foot has to go somewhere. Johnson lowered his body from the hit, as well as turning his face away instinctively, which there probably was nothing else he could do. If he'd have lifted this front arm the second he saw Petgrave coming for this kamikaze move, he might have been able to trap Petgrave, lower in his body. But at this point, it's all over, because your leg has to go somewhere. Your foot has to go somewhere. It's got a razor sharp thing on it. There's just no way to get out of it. Now, this is a shot from the bat. I'm sorry if this is this was hard for me to do this stuff too, but as he's trying to get his foot over the shoulder, the point of the blade would snag badly. You're talking about your jaw, your chin line, the way these blades are made. As you guys know, it's a squared off blade sharpened on the edges, so when you get square on it, you can go omnidirectional, do all those spins and everything, but as soon as you catch an edge, you can direct yourself and all that. So, and I just learned recently, they sharpen them in between, like when they take a break. I don't know how hockey works, but every time they take a break, they sharpen these edges. So you can't get that thing anywhere near your skin. And, okay, so here's what I did. I took the frame for frame. Now, I'm just this whole thing. There's a couple guys on the internet saying, "Oh, he tried to check this guy right here, this defender." Why? Why would you do that? Everybody is looking, just like soccer, tennis, basketball, football. Everybody's looking at the ball. This guy's the enforcer, trying to stop you from making a goal. What good? Even not being a hockey player or whatever, I wouldn't go after this guy. That makes no sense. This guy's coming. He's going to make a cut, just like a couple other guys have said. He's expecting him to go that way, but he makes this really sweet cut and basically beats this guy and beats Petgrave. Now, what I feel happened is that, Petgrave's an animal. He's an enforcer. He's out there to just really be like a defensive back or whatever. The second he makes a cut, he's fired up. I'm still going to get you. Now, he makes a hard cut into the ice here. It's a really radical physical maneuver, high athletic capabilities. And Johnson's really, got him beat. He's coming around the back. Now, you've got to remember, too, I think there's more of these red guys back here. So why it was so pertinent to try to stop this guy, in such a big way right now. I think there was like 2 more red guys back here who could come up, mess with Johnson. But, Petgrave initiated this crazy thing. Now, people are also saying, oh, his foot bounced off of this guy's foot. His knee bounced off of this guy's knee. This guy's traveling forward, not at a real high rate of speed, but he's traveling forward away. He has now cut back. He's still traveling forward, but he has now cut back hard this way. And, I am doing these illustrations, but if you looked at it without the illustration, yes, it is blurry. You can see this guy's face. You can see his helmet. But he is intently looking at the guy who's going to try to make a goal. That's his job. That's what he's doing. And to finish that off, I do not believe there was like a very light, like your knee hit the back of his thighs coming down at this angle. His foot's moving forward. Toe of his boot might have hit it. His knee, but he's bending his knee in. It wouldn't cause you to go flying and stick your leg in the air. Not a chance. Johnson's looking great. He's looking like a piece of artwork here, cutting back. I think I missed one there. Hang on. So here you can just see it's difficult because this is blurry. We have to understand too, in shots like this with this resolution, if you move something really fast, like swing a stick, there's not going to be anything there. There's not even going to be any color, but you know that it swung. It is difficult to see exactly where his lower leg is here, but that's where all the shapes look like they are. Now this is where it gets trippy. Right here, it's very dark. It's hard to say if he has his leg cocked, like he's going to knee him, which makes sense to me. The guy's not a killer. He's got killer instinct, but he's not a killer. I thought he was thinking in his, this takes a split second. He's going to reach out here and knee him in the waist or something. But the question is, does he have his leg cocked back, which is getting ready for a swinging trebuchet karate kick, or does he have his leg like this, which is also a very effective, basically reach out and do a Bruce Lee here to the side, tie, buaka side tie kick, which is extremely powerful and deadly. Let's let this play. And it does get very ghosty right here, but like I say, one thing that's very crucial to realize here is he cut, but then he kind of, that threw him this way. Now he could be on the flat edge of the blade, which means it could easily just slide out and tilt him even more so his knee is up. But the main point is he already had his knee up. Why did he have his knee up? I would say the reason, other than just temporary insanity, is he had his knee up because, well, I don't know why. I don't have an answer for that. But this is going to allow him to flat slide inward like this and even raise. And now everything's coming together at high speed. We got to understand that. But he's got his knee up. Now at this point, I believe, like I say, he flat slid. Now this is going to allow him to almost slide out. Now he flat slides a little bit, then grabs an edge, which is going to take him that way. But his knee's so high, he's about to collide like a freight train. And, this guy has nothing to do with it at this point. This guy's beyond, and Petgrave has his stick hanging way out here. At this point, it's a karate chop to the upper chest, which wouldn't really be that bad. But the problem, once again, is 2 trains colliding. He still has the momentum to go forward. He has the momentum coming this way, even though he gets stopped like a rag doll. But he has to keep going forward, and he has to do something with his leg, which goes over Johnson's shoulder. As we'll see right here. It's going to be up to forensics to really find out what happened. But one thing we know, even if anybody, says, oh, that's not exactly where his leg was or where his knee was, none of that matters. What we do know is somehow he sliced another man's neck traumatically, and that's undisputable. Somehow he got his foot right up here to the guy's neck, and I believe, Johnson is kind of lowering down, although it's happening so fast. You look at this positioning, he still doesn't even, his body's still not even really reacting to him coming at him like this. Let's let it play. Right here, yeah, this is another frame after that other frame, and man, it's intense because at this point, I'm thinking that Petgrave is realizing how the hell did I get into this position? And he can't like bend his knee that much farther this way. The guy's not a contortionist. He's moving forward. It's impact. He's ended up with his foot stuck right here. And there's just no getting around that. Yeah, I don't think he just had a lapse of mental control. Threw himself right at this guy. And I was just noting here, talk about, dangerous weapons in this sport that you have to be in full control of. And I know there's been lots of injuries. They wear their shields, this and that, from the stick. But these guys have to be in control of some dangerous weapons. Now, at this point, Johnson has been hit really bad. He's kind of like clobbered. But if you look at the video, too, you can see the hit. Then you can see his head kind of fling like this. And what I really believe is happening is this guy's weight's moving forward. He's reestablished an edge. He's just falling that way. Johnson's falling backwards. The foot, however this works with these blades, could have been like semi-hooked in his chin strap, hooked in a hole on his thing, hooked along his jawline, and it kind of flicks his head. We never have really seen the injury, so we don't know if it... This one should have been before that other one. Sorry, but and he loses his stick right here from the impact. But basically, we can see what happens here. However, why he got himself up there, he ends up getting his foot, because there's only if his whole body's facing this way, his foot cannot be pointing up, in an L like this. Your leg does not move that way. His foot has to swing over, dislodge, get over this obstacle, and come down onto the ground. And you've just got so many ways to gash yourself up with this kind of stuff. I don't know if I have any other images. I think that's it. Anyway, I wanted to do this breakdown because, it's terrible. It's really terrible. Who would have thought? I had no idea their blades were that sharp, but it's obviously a really stiff boot. Like, you could take it and kick somebody right in the arm. And another thing I want to say, do these guys, like football players, you hear about football players, they practice ballet and stuff like this. Are these guys able to do a huge karate, swinging kick like you would do in MMA, Thai kickboxing, where they can kick right up to a guy's head? This guy had the athletic ability to cut back instantly and do a high knee at least. And the problem is your lower leg comes with your high knee. And it's just an incredibly ignorant move that this man did. He doesn't have a name. He's just a man. And I think it's manslaughter 100%. It's also, if these guys had had an altercation before this for some reason, if Johnson had come up to him and said, hey, man, I'm going to beat you on every play, and then he did just beat him on this play, or he thought he did, or even worse than that. Maybe they had some other deal with each other that was really heinous, and some true aggression, because this feels like a wild animal coming out of the bushes and just attacking you and biting your head. It's just a crazy move. So crazy. Anyway, I'm very sorry for Johnson. And like I say, Petgrave, this has never happened before in hockey. I think he just completely lost his mind due to aggression or whatever, but he made a big mistake and killed somebody in a vicious way. It's terrible.